day one, I mean, was just making some of these corners look absolutely silly. His route running, I was super impressed with. Usually, smaller school prospects, they're raw, they're just using their physical talents, and he certainly has those physical talents. But the sharp footwork, I mean, the shiftiness plus the speed, unstoppable every day of practice.
We'll dig further into that prospect and more incoming rookies that you're going to want to know in an all-new Draft Sharks podcast right now. Matt Schauf of DraftSharks.com, and I have swapped out Jared Smola for Shane Hallam because we are talking prospects. The Senior Bowl has just wrapped up, and Shane, I feel like it's fair to say the Senior Bowl, really the official kickoff to prospect season, don't you think?
Yeah, it really feels like this is it. Right, 'tis the season when you hit these all-star games. It's draft season for me. It's been watching more college when I watch NFL during the season, so I'm pumped. I'm pumped to finally be back on and be talking incoming rookies here.
And I'm ready to get to know these guys, and that's what I'm doing this time of year because I don't have time to track college players during the NFL season, at least without alienating my family even further. So I look at Shane's stuff, and then I start getting to know these players as we have time, and we'll talk more about that as we go through. We're going to talk some Senior Bowl winners and losers here. We'll get to the MVP of the game in a few minutes, and we'll, of course, talk about how these guys are going to impact your rookie drafts in Dynasty coming up. I want to start in the backfield, though, as opposed to at quarterback, because there's a guy that I kind of wish had a quieter week than he did. It's Mike Washington. Shane, like I said, I'm just getting to know all these guys. I got intrigued with this running back as we went through our Superflex rookie mock draft recently. He hit college as a 2-star wide receiver recruit, but quickly converted to running back. Good size, 3 years at University of Buffalo, not far from where I'm sitting right now. 1 at New Mexico State. Then he landed at Arkansas in 2025 and really broke out there. 6.4 yards per carry, career high 28 catches at 8.1 yards per catch. Like I said, good sized player, but then he basically announced himself to Dynasty players everywhere with a strong Senior Bowl week, right?
He did. It was a tremendous week for Mike Washington. To me, the best running back down in Mobile from the practices and what we saw on the field. You mentioned that size. I mean, 6'1.5", 228 pounds. And you add in that receiving ability coming into college as a receiver, being that running back convert. And I went back and watched some of his New Mexico State film, and you see the rawness that he just doesn't quite get the position, but you see what the potential is for a player that's this big, this fast. And Arkansas certainly saw that to bring him in as a transfer. He had 1,040 yards, 8 touchdowns on 167 carries for Arkansas. And I thought the receiving ability at Mobile was the best part of Mike Washington's game. And for us in fantasy and PPR leagues, I mean, that would be amazing to have a 228-pound running back that can take the pounding as a starter and catch the football. He did have 28 catches for Arkansas this year, but he had 1 rep against his former teammate, Xavier Story, the linebacker, where Washington just basically dusted Story, who's only 220 pounds, is lighter than Washington, got past him, great ball tracking, looked back at the right time, caught the pass, gone for a touchdown. And I thought the rushing for Washington on the 11-on-11s was good. Running back's tough kind of to gauge in these practices. I think you might see some lists of winners and losers, and running back is kind of all over the board because no one's tackling. It's hard to know. Was that a big run? Would he have gone for 2 yards or would he have gone for 5 yards? But I thought Washington looked pretty shifty. His cutting ability, making decisions, the vision in those 11-on-11s was good at 228 pounds. And then even during the game, which is the least important part of this, don't just watch the game and try to get anything from it. But he did have a good 9-yard run, carrying defenders with him, rumbling. I mean, some of the things that he did at Arkansas showed up in that game again. So Mike Washington's my prediction, Matt, for this year's surprise day 2 running back, the RJ Harvey, the Tyron Davis Price, the Trey Sermon, that he's going to get a little buzz in there. But then when it gets to draft day, like, whoa, this guy got drafted that high. I think the NFL is going to really like the size, the receiving, the production in the SEC. All this combined makes for a pretty good running back prospect in a weaker class.
Yeah, and so we'll see about that draft position, of course. We got a few months left for that. We'll also see how much Dynasty buzz starts to build, and Mike Washington might become really a common type of player challenge for me. So I touched on it a little bit. I get to this point in the year. I'm not super familiar with the incoming rookies. I do start with Shane's rankings, but I also don't want to blindly follow your rankings, Shane. Nothing against you. That's just how I am. I don't want to be like, oh, this guy's list is what I'm going to use to draft. So I start looking at those players. I try to look a little bit beyond that to see who might specifically intrigue me. And like I mentioned earlier, Mike Washington was somebody that stood out and intrigued me some. So now comes the challenging part. Now that he has had the good Senior Bowl week, I don't know how sneaky he was after playing at Arkansas this past year in the SEC. You know, it's not like he's from a D2 school or something lower than that. So maybe he wasn't as sneaky as I might have thought. But this is the portion of the year where players really start to emerge for everyone. They start either building buzz or not. And the players who do build buzz can then climb from maybe right now they're sitting as potential late round 3 rookie picks, maybe even round 4. And then as we get closer and then beyond the NFL draft, all of a sudden they might be in round 2 of these rookie drafts. So then the challenge is, do I chase the guy up there and draft him anyway? Do I let him go and realize that everybody else caught on to the same early intrigue and he's really kind of beyond the point where I thought he was going to be back when I was, kind of excited about him early on. And my example from last year is Jack Besh, where when we were at this portion of the year last year, I was like, Jack Besh is intriguing. And then everybody else seemed to think the same thing. He created buzz at the Senior Bowl. He snuck into round 2. He became a round 2 rookie pick. And by that point I was like, nah, I think the market's kind of overrating Jack Besh, and the way his rookie year went, it seems like that was the case.
Washington feels similar to me, where if he gets drafted in the NFL draft in round 2 or early round 3, and then he starts being this early round 2 rookie pick, I'm like, that's a little expensive for me. Or if Mike Washington still goes in round 4 of the NFL draft, maybe the situation isn't as great. Now he's falling to the late second round, early third round of rookie drafts. I think then I'm in. And I think a lot of these Senior Bowl standouts, because we have a lot of players opting not to do the All-Star games at all, feel that way. If the value is still good enough, then I'm interested in rookie drafts. But I don't think we're going to talk about anyone today that I am running no matter where they get drafted in your rookie draft. I want to take them no matter what.
Yeah, and from my vantage point, fingers are crossed for more like Bashal Tutin draft capital than RJ Harvey draft capital.
Yeah, it could happen. So we'll see. I'm hopeful as well.
And we're talking rookie drafts, by the way, but any fantasy format, one of the biggest challenges is liking a player early on and then deciding whether you need to chase him when his ADP climbs. That's certainly a redraft thing as well. We'll talk about that throughout the year. But for now, let's move on to other players from Senior Bowl week. We won't wait any longer to get to Garrett Nussmeier. Obviously won the game MVP. That doesn't really matter a whole lot. The game is kind of what they have to do by the end of it, right, Shane? It's really about what these guys do in practice against this high-level competition and with a bunch of scouts and NFL coaches watching them.
Yeah, well, apparently they don't have to play the game because about half the guys there just left. I think they brought in one player. They had to scratch off the jersey name of a different player that didn't play and just stick it on him. So
they should just play it up instead of scratching it off. They should just like cross it out with a marker and like
get the duct tape out,
tape a new one on. Exactly.
So it's always, it is nice to see the players play and see a Garrett Nussmeier, see a quarterback who had a really good week, step in and play in the game. But I think Garrett Nussmeier to me was the best quarterback consistently through the week. Maybe didn't have the highest highs of anyone, but was the most consistent. And he revealed something in the initial press conference that I think was key to his evaluation. He had a preseason core injury going into 2025 at LSU and said, I literally could not use my core to throw the football all season. And it was nagging. He ended up missing half the season late, tried to kind of play through it and couldn't play through it. And his 2025 film, I thought he could have a chance maybe to become a round 1 pick, and it was not good. I mean, it's bad. And I was like, oh God, this guy can't throw the football. Maybe that's an explanation. Maybe that's maybe he's over exaggerating a bit. I'm not sure. But what we saw in the Senior Bowl was more like 2024 Garrett Nussmeier. Consistent arm strength, a good placement in some of those tighter windows, middle of the field where you didn't see him throw a lot of passes in college. I thought was some of his best passes the Senior Bowl week, the slants and the in routes. And it was a little more inconsistent outside on the comebacks and some of the out routes. But I thought as a whole, Nussmeier showed some good footwork. Taking snaps from under center is always one of the biggest things of quarterbacks for me, because most of these quarterbacks don't do that in college. Nussmeier's footwork was, to me, the best and improved as the week went on. For fantasy wise, I think he's a tough evaluation because he's not going to run the football at all. He's a pocket passer purely. Even extending plays, I don't think is in Garrett Nussmeier's wheelhouse, and that's probably what limits his NFL draft stock and his fantasy upside. But we could see him now creep into day 2 and maybe be like a Tyler Shuck type of pick, where a team that needs a quarterback maybe reaches a little bit on this quarterback in Nussmeier that can throw the ball, develops him a little bit, sits him for a little bit during the year, and maybe we get something out of him down the line.
Now, you mentioned he did have a big 2024 before that 2025 backslide after waiting 3 years to take over at LSU. So took him a while to get on the field, looked good, then looked bad. Maybe we've got the reason why, probably at least part of the reason why. And I guess we'll see how much. This is the kind of quarterback that doesn't generally make a huge fantasy impact, really just a super flex guy. And, we'll see where he goes in the draft and if there's any sort of opportunity for even like an early starter competition, but most likely going to be a backup. And we'll see exactly what that means. We usually like more experience from our college quarterbacks. Garrett Nussmeier can make up for that a bit because his dad is Doug Nussmeier, a former quarterback who did play in the NFL, but at least as importantly has coached in the NFL and other levels for a long time now. Started coaching QBs in 2001 in the CFL, 6 FBS program stops along the way, 4 NFL stops, including last year as the offensive coordinator for the Saints. So Garrett Nussmeier should at least know a lot about playing quarterback. We'll see how well he does at playing it and where he goes in the draft. Diego Pavia, on the other hand, Senior Bowl loser. And Shane, it's less about what he did on the field, more about how he failed to stack up before they got on the field, right?
Sometimes the weigh-in is all you need to get that stock up and stock down, and that's where Diego Pavia fell short. No pun intended. He came in
Pun entirely intended.
Look, he came in at 5'9" and 7/8, so under 5'10". Now, I'm sure by the combine, somehow these guys magically grow an eighth of an inch, a quarter of an inch. But 5'9" 7/8 would be by far the shortest quarterback starter if Pavia would ever get to start in the NFL. It's a quarter inch shorter than Bryce Young and Kyler Murray. Both those guys, number 1 overall picks. They were much more talented than Diego Pavia is, who was projected as a day 3 pick coming into Senior Bowl week. And I think now there's some questions on, do you draft him? Pavia was the runner-up in the Heisman, but he is also going to turn 24 before the draft. He's a player who's had a long college career, numerous stops, the last 2 years at Vanderbilt, and he's a runner. There's even been some talk now after that weigh-in. Does he convert to a different position? He ran for 862 yards and 10 touchdowns in 2025. That's probably what you're putting him on your team to be, is a backup, a third string, who, if he has to get in there and move around and run for a first down, it would be good. During the week, I think Pavia flashed some nice throws, but with his size, combined with never really playing under center before, his arm strength looked even weaker to me than it did on film. I think he struggled with dropping back, driving the football with good footwork. There's a lot that needs done for Pavia to become an NFL quarterback, in my opinion. And then you add in the height. To me, it's just there's a big hype train up behind him because he's very outspoken. He's out there in the public a lot. But it's not to the Shedeur Sanders level, but it kind of has that vibe a little bit. So I get scared of that. There's going to be some people in his corner, but I don't think Pavia is necessarily an NFL quarterback.
And from a fantasy standpoint, he would have been interesting because of the 862 yards, 10 touchdowns rushing that you mentioned that propelled his Heisman case this past year. But I mean, he's just not big enough to be a worthwhile NFL quarterback. So that pretty much kills a fantasy outlook. We'll see what happens, but I mean, we're talking maybe a round 5 rookie pick in Dynasty. Over to wide receiver, Malachi Fields. He's tall. He was decently productive the past 3 years in college. What kind of a prospect are we looking at here, Shane? And what did Senior Bowl week do for Malachi Fields?
I think Senior Bowl week helped elevate Malachi Fields potentially into day 2, maybe even into round 1. We're starting to get some first round buzz. Usually during the Senior Bowl practices, these bigger wide receivers don't come out looking as good. And Malachi Fields, 6'4", 218 pounds. He's certainly an wide receiver, a big, long, physical wide receiver. But when you have those one-on-ones, it's the shorter, faster guys that really perform well. I saw Tez Johnson last year. I remember Marquise Goodwin lit everyone up because it's hard to cover those players one-on-one. Usually the bigger guys, you can at least have those contested catches. But Fields, for me, I came in kind of with low expectations. I think he's a good player. Never had a 1,000-yard season in 2024. Virginia, 55 catches, 808 yards, 5 touchdowns. That went down to 630 yards and only 36 catches at Notre Dame this past season. But looked very smooth for his size with that height, with that weight. I mean, his hips were loose and in and out of his breaks, very smooth. And at the line of scrimmage, very physical with his hands. The one rep that stood out to me was against Malik Muhammad, a cornerback for Texas, who's probably going to be a top 100 pick. A streak where Muhammad tried to kind of pop Fields at the line and press. Fields used his arms, pushed Malik Muhammad off of him, had those long strides, got past him. The ball goes up. Muhammad's able to kind of catch back up. He's a little faster than Fields is. Muhammad's about 190 pounds, and Fields just leaps above him, uses his size, high points the football, touchdown. Beautiful play. That's what you want out of an wide receiver. So I think Fields' play, the hands, the physicality, it's all kind of there for a team that wants that really number 1 to be physical, be able to go up and get that football. Like we talked about a bit with Mike Washington, but even more so with Fields. I just fear what the value is. He's, again, one of those players, if you fall in rookie drafts, I'd feel good. Like, this guy could be something, but he does turn 23 during his rookie season. Now he's starting to get some first round buzz potentially, and it almost feels like a Xavier Legette situation where I'm like, I don't think this guy's talented enough to be that alpha number 1. I think he could be a productive fantasy receiver in a good system, but that's going to push him up in the first round of rookie drafts, and I'm just not. I don't see Fields as that kind of player.
Yeah, he's the kind of player that you hope doesn't make it into the NFL drafts second round and then, get pushed up rookie draft boards. You hope that he's in at least late day 2, maybe even day 3 and third round plus in rookie drafts. Cause then you could take a shot. You could say there are some things to like, let's see what he does with it, as opposed to this guy's going to be really good. So that's when you can get yourself into trouble. Talking about big prospects, we've got Houston tight end Tanner Koziol up next, 6'6.5" in the weigh-in. Could have spared an 1.5 or 2 to Pavia, but longest arms as well among Senior Bowl tight ends, 94 and 74 catches the past 2 years. How interested, Shane, should we be in this guy?
I think we should be very interested. I think this is a solid tight end class, and Koziol is someone that got on my radar back at Ball State 2 years ago, had that transfer to Houston this past year, and he was their primary receiver, 74 catches, 727 yards, 6 touchdowns. And you see just the pass catching ability, kind of the natural ability to find holes in the zones, to box out linebackers, does a lot of those little technique things well, stick routes, being able to change direction pretty quickly for that big 6'6.5", 245-pound frame. And during Senior Bowl week, absolutely uncoverable by these linebackers who, some of them 220, 230 pounds, just did not have the physicality, did not have the arm length, didn't have positioning to really cover Tanner Koziol. And his leaping ability in the red zone, when they had the red zone drill, I think Cole Payton from North Dakota State, I think every play trying to just target him because he knew it would be a completion. There's one just to the corner of the end zone between 2 defenders. Koziol leaps up, catches it, gets 2 feet in, like NFL touchdown catch right there. So to the impressive physical specimen, Solid blocker. I think that the size helped that. Some reps he lost, some reps he won, as you expect from the Senior Bowl, but I think good enough for a team to put him in line. And the production's there, multiple years of production. So I think the process so far is great for him. If the workouts are good, I think Tanner Koziol could be a top 150 draft pick and maybe be one of those later tight ends that emerges because he can do everything pretty well, and it could end up being a fantasy factor down the line.
Yeah, you like the outlier size, not outlier, but high end size for the position because at tight end, we want something that's potentially special about a guy, something that makes him stand out, give him a chance to contribute early and present ultimate upside. Plus, he's already got a tight end name. Tanner Koziol, you're either a tight end or an offensive lineman, or you're finding another profession with that name.
I like it, and he definitely breeds just tight end energy out there of everything that he does. Man, he loves to punch guys in the mouth. So it's a type of player I just love to watch, and I catch myself watching the film too long, and like I gotta move to somebody else.
Shane, your daughter needs you. Penn State had a pair of running backs at the Senior Bowl, Katron Allen, Nicholas Singleton. Unfortunately, Singleton's the one that we need to talk about. And the unfortunate part is that he broke a bone in his right foot in Thursday's practice. So it's going to make his pre-draft process tougher. We'll see exactly what it means. I guess the question is, Shane, is Singleton a strong enough prospect that he can shake off this injury and still get drafted highly?
I think it's going to be tough for him to hit maybe the level of expectation coming in. This is a former 5-star recruit, came into Penn State, and a lot of his recruiting status was based on his athleticism. 6 feet tall, 221 pounds, and potentially was going to run in the 4.3s, maybe 4.4 flat at the combine. So that size and speed factor, I think, was what was going to push him potentially into day two. Now, with the broken foot surgery on that bone in the foot, he should be ready for the preseasons. I don't think it's anything that's going to affect his NFL career. But if you're a team, yeah, he's athletic, but it would have been really nice to put those numbers in and have probably one of the best speed scores in the class go to Singleton, and now you're just not 100% sure. You wanted to be sure of that. Singleton had a good 4-year career at Penn State. He was productive, but his teammate Katron Allen, who certainly is not anywhere near the athlete of Nicholas Singleton, outproduced him every single season. And I think that's a question too. So I think it puts Singleton more on that day 2, day 3 fringe. And as we've seen with running backs recently, to me, I usually lean lower draft capital just because of the positional value. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Singleton fall into day 3 because of the broken foot.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a position where you can be treated as a bit more fungible. So you kind of need something to push you over the top to motivate teams to draft you earlier. So wouldn't be surprised if he's in day 3 at this point. We'll see what happens. We'll certainly be watching through the process, and ultimately still going to be an upside player. So going to be somebody to watch for Dynasty rookie draft purposes. Shane, recently, I guess not that long ago would be a better way to say it, I saw somebody tweeting at Ty Montgomery _4, and that's of course on X. I say tweeting because I'm old. I saw somebody asking this person about acquiring film to be able to evaluate him. And my first thought is Ty Montgomery 1.0 is trying to make a comeback and somebody's looking for film to see if it's worth it. I wasn't even aware at the time that there's a whole new Ty Montgomery. It's Tyren Montgomery. And part of the reason that I wasn't aware is because he's from not an FBS school, right? Is this a guy that we got to pay attention to now?
It is. He's actually from Division III, John Carroll, which is not far from a couple hours from where I am right now. And
it's also where London Fletcher went, right? The Rams linebacker grade.
Yeah. So look, John Carroll, definitely a school that's producing an NFL talent that you think of.
Once every 12, 15 years or whatever that is.
But I got tipped off to him and sent a little bit of film, just like kind of a highlight film. It's this grainy, like Division III film, man. It's this grainy, like I think this is him. And you watch, and this guy just, absolutely dominating everyone. He's going against prize players that were second string in high school and just clowning on them. And you're like, okay, but what does that mean for the NFL? This is Division III. And the story's interesting. Ty Montgomery, an LSU basketball walk-on in 2019, didn't play, Then he started playing flag football to try to maybe kickstart a football career because his younger brother played football in high school. Ty Montgomery never played football. COVID hit. He made the Nicholls State team, didn't play, so he transferred down to John Carroll. And this past season, 119 catches, 1,575 yards, 17 touchdowns, just absolutely ridiculous. And so when you see these Division III players go to the Senior Bowl, it takes them a day, it takes them 2 days, they get dominated, and then they start to catch up, and you're like, okay. Tyren Montgomery, day one, I mean, was just making some of these corners look absolutely silly. ACC corners couldn't cover him. His route running, I was super impressed with. Usually, smaller school prospects, they're raw, they're just using their physical talents, and he certainly has those physical talents, but the sharp footwork, I mean, the shiftiness plus the speed, unstoppable every day of practice. Had a few drops. I think there's still some raw, catch technique things that he probably wasn't coached up against, but there was one 11 on 11 rep against North Carolina corner Thaddeus Dixon, where, I mean, Ty Montgomery leaned kind of to the outside of his route to fool Dixon, then cut inside, and Dixon fell trying to even change direction to cover this player. And that's something you see from the best wide receivers of college football. You see from Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson. It's not something you see from Ty Montgomery from John Carroll. Caught the pass, took it for 20 yards. So really intriguing. I mean, he's going to be 24 years old. He's certainly older than almost anyone that we would want to draft in a rookie draft on our fantasy team. I don't expect him to go highly, despite all of this. You're not going to take a wide receiver from John Carroll probably before the 4th or 5th round, and I would probably lean 5th or 6th round. But there's some upside here. And if you have a deep draft, you have taxi squad spots, this is the kind of player I like to take in the 4th round and stick him on a taxi squad. And let's see what happens. If he hits, man, I mean, there's a lot of upside here.
And to be fair, on the age front, we're kind of having to adjust that some since the COVID years in particular, because we're getting a lot of these older prospects entering the league. Not only COVID adding years to players' college careers, but also now NIL, incentivizing some players to stay in school where they might have jumped to the NFL early because you can now make similar or even better money while staying in school.
Exactly. I think the NIL issue is cropping up. The transfer portal allows players to kind of stick around and try to do a little better and improve a draft stock. So we're going to see just a lot more 5-year, maybe even 6-year players coming out. So I'm not as worried about it as I would have been 4 or 5 years ago when that wasn't the norm.
He's younger than Tyler Shough, at least. Last guy we're going to talk about on here, Ted Hurst, a good-sized receiver, 127 catches over the past 2 years, 15.5 yards per catch for his career. Played at D2 Valdosta State first, but finished at Georgia State, up a level, but still the Sun Belt Conference. So, Shane, we talked about the competition level concerns with Ty Montgomery, with the new Ty Montgomery. What about Ted Hurst? Should we shed those competition level concerns after the week he had in Mobile?
I think so. I think Ted Hurst is probably the player I feel most comfortable with that was on that upswing from Senior Bowl week, because at Georgia State, he was dominant, comes in 6'3 and a quarter, 207 pounds, and has the athleticism to boot. You see him even against that lower level competition. I mean, he's dominating that lower level competition. That's great. That's what you want to see. I think the Senior Bowl was the opportunity for Ted Hurst to prove that he belonged, and he certainly did. One rep against Arkansas cornerback Julian Neal. Julian Neal's 202 pounds, so lighter than Ted Hurst. I mean, Hurst just blew past him on a streak, tracked the ball, one-handed touchdown catch over Neal, trying to make back and come back without messing it up somehow, but couldn't do it. Hurst made the one-handed catch, made the touchdown, and I thought maybe the best kind of stat is the GPS tracking. Ted Hurst had the second fastest GPS top speed in Mobile, 20.33 miles per hour. The fastest was Berrien Brown, wide receiver for LSU, who had 20.35, so just above. Berrien Brown's 176 pounds. Ted Hurst is 207 pounds. So if that translates at the combine, you have the size, you have the speed, you have the production. It was just about level of competition. I think Senior Bowl proved that's not a problem. To me, that makes Ted Hurst a player I really want to invest in a rookie draft. I think the upside is there, and if he gets that day 2 draft capital, then you feel good the NFL seeing the same thing.
Yeah, we'll see if the buzz starts to build. We'll see if he's the kind of player that climbs up draft boards in draft expectations and that we have to decide if we want to chase him or leave him behind. We're going to get into all of that much more coming up on draftsharks.com over the next couple of months as we build up to the NFL draft. You can get more of Shane's reactions to Senior Bowl week now at draftsharks.com, including sleepers from the game. You can also find his rookie rankings for one quarterback and Superflex formats, as well as our initial rookie mock draft for Dynasty Superflex leagues. The 1QB edition is in progress right now, almost done. So that's going to hit the site sometime this week. Might even be up by the time you're watching or listening to this show. And our annual rookie profile series has already started. We've got 5 guys on the site as of this recording, more of those players joining the lineup every week. There really is no offseason in Dynasty Fantasy Football, and there's no offseason at draftsharks.com because we aim to be your unfair advantage. Hey!